If you've been watching Survival on Purpose for any length of time, you've probably heard me say that XS Sights makes the only sights that I trust my life to on any pistol that I carry for self-defense. I prefer the DXT2 Big Dot Express style sights, but they also make several different other styles of sights, so I've had questions over the years about this style or that style. So what I thought I'd do in today's video, since, by the way, XS Sights is having a huge Memorial Day sale as I make this video, where you can save 25% off on any sight site-wide, this would be a good timing to kind of go over some of the different style sights, show you the different sight pictures that are available from some of the different sites at XS Sights. That's what's coming up next here on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose. My name's Brian. Thanks for joining me. And as I said, today we're going to talk about XS Sights, because if you're watching this video when it first comes out, through June the 1st, 2025, XS Sights is having a huge 25% off Memorial Day sale, where you can save 25% off on anything site-wide, sights, tools, or whatever. And if you spend $180, you also get a nice gift at checkout. So, and if you're not watching it by June the 1st, 2025, you can go to survivalonpurpose.com/sponsors, and there's a coupon code on there that'll save you some bucks on the absolute fastest sights in any light, and the only sights that I trust my life to on any pistol that I carry, and have done so for several years. From my Glock 19 with the DXT2 Pros on it, to my new backup gun, the North American Arms Sentinel with the DXT2 regular dots on it. And as I said, that's my favorite sight, but they make several different style sights at XS Sights. All of them 100% made in the USA, all of them really, really high quality sights. So to answer some questions I've had, what I thought I'd do in today's video, I'm just going to give you a through the lens sight picture on some of the different sights, so you can make, maybe that'll answer your questions. But first, today's words of wisdom from the Bible. This is from Psalms 144. Praise the Lord, who is my rock. He trains my hands for war and gives my fingers skill for battle. So that being said, a big thank you to XS Sights for being a channel sponsor. I've been using XS Sights for a lot of years. They've been a sponsor for a couple of years, and that's really the exact kind of sponsor I want, somebody that I trust and I know their stuff is great. XS Sights are 100% made in the USA by people who shoot and they know what they're doing. So a little setup here, and then I'll show you the footage of the different through the lens sights. I was going to do some night stuff, like show you in the dark. I took them in the bathroom, shut the door, and just to let you see the tritium. But honestly, you shouldn't be shooting, first of all, in the total darkness. So that's pointless. You really not, it doesn't matter what your sight picture looks like in the total darkness. I will give you a quick glimpse of the tritium that you can see it glowing. But what I use it for, my nightstand pistol, I have a light on it. At night, I can see that tritium glowing there. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to think about it. I know where it is. I can get my hand on it and get my light on it. Again, safety is important. You got to know your target. One of the 4 rules: know what you're shooting at. So you can't do that in total darkness. But the tritium does help you see in dimmer light. And also, real quickly, let me just set this up for you. I prefer, as I said, the DXT2 Big Dots. They are express style sights. So they have a shallow V like this. Underneath that V, there's a little line. You put the dot on the eye, you dot the eye. They're just very, very fast. If I'm in a self-defense situation, I want to get on target really, really fast. But a lot of people have asked me about group size and this and that with the shallow V. So I'm going to talk about that real quickly after I show you these, but let me quit rambling and we'll get you to the sight pictures, and I'll come back and I'll just kind of explain to you why I like the big dots and why I don't think they are any sort of a detriment, any sort of a negative at all. But we'll do that in just a minute. I'll stop rambling now. Let's look at these light sight pictures. Okay, here's the original OG white dots on my Glock 43 with hopefully a focus on the front sight. You can see how you just basically dot the eye and get a good sight picture. And here's the DXT2 yellow dot, big dot, DXT2 big dot, orange dot. And there we go. And you can see, again, dot the eye. Moving right along, here's the DXT2 yellow dot in suppressor height. You can use this for the suppressor or an optic, or both. These are the DXT2 Pros with the green dot, and they have these again have the tritium in the back. There we go. There's a little tritium vial. Doesn't look like much. I'm telling you, at night, that thing stands out like a sore thumb. Even with a focus on the rear sight, you can still see the front dot very clearly. But you're supposed to focus on the front sight, obviously, so the camera's not focused. There we go, sort of focused. And if you just really, really like notch and post sights, here's my favorite notch and post sights. These are the F8s. They have a dot on the front with tritium in the middle, and on the back, they've got a little tritium dot right there. But there's the sight picture on that. Plenty of room on daylight on both sides to really get it lined up fast. And for another notch and post variety, these are the fairly recent R3D 2.0s. So these have focus grasshopper, tritium on both sides of the notch, and then tritium and a luminescent dot up front. So you get, let's line the 3 dots up, and you got like that. And we'll see if we can get the camera to focus on the front sight instead of the back sight. There we go. Slow to focus, but then you got your front sight lined up. Okay. Last but certainly not least are the DXW standard dots in white on my North American Arms 22 Magnum. There we go. Chuck Norris can start a fire with a fire extinguisher. Alrighty then, hopefully that was a reasonably clear through the lens look at some of the different sight pictures that are available from the different versions of XS sights. Those are pretty much all the different styles pistol sights that I have. XS sights also makes rifle sights, shotgun sights, sight tools, all kinds of good stuff. But I want to focus on the sight pictures this time. So I said I was going to talk about the why I like the big dot, the DXT2s versus the other ones. And bottom line for me, my eyes are not as good as they used to be. I have to wear progressive lenses, so that means I have to, if I want to see a good sight picture, literally clear front sight picture, I have to tilt my head back here and get the, kind of like the bifocal part going, and that's not a really good aggressive stance. So the big dots for me are as good as a red dot optic. I can see that big old dot, even if it's not crystal clear. I can see it. I can dot that eye, and I can get my sights on target really quickly without a lot of lining up, a lot of focus. Your brain just kind of works, is used to lining stuff up. And those sights, by the way, the big dot sights, the DXTs and the DXWs, they were pretty much patterned after big game hunting sights called express sights they used on big game rifles in Africa for hunting animals that will kill you, that are maybe charging towards you. You don't have time to do a bunch of lineup. You need to get on target quick and get it done. So in a self-defense situation, that's the same rules apply, in my opinion. So that's why I like those better. But I'll say this. I'll say I really like their F8 sights as well. If you're like notch and post sights and you're used to that, F8s are, in my opinion, the best ones I've seen. They have the big dot, they have the eye, you're still dotting the eye, and the notch is wide enough so you don't have to fumble with it to get it lined up. You can really see an even amount of light on each side of the post when you got them lined up. And again, your brain is used to lining things up equally. So they're really fast. If you just like notch and post sights, I would highly recommend those. And another thing I want to address before we wrap this video up, and we're about to do that, is I've had several questions about what about the big dot, because the dot's so big, it's not as precise. What kind of group size can you get with that? Okay, in my opinion, group size has nothing to do with the sights and everything to do with trigger control. If you put that big dot, any dot, if you put a huge dot in the same place every time, and you don't move your barrel, don't move the pistol when you press the trigger, the bullets are going to go in the same place every time. So the only potential I can see maybe where if you're trying to shoot a little tiny target at a long distance and the dot's bigger than the target, then that might be difficult to aim. But honestly, I don't think that's an issue. Practice makes perfect. I've seen James Yeager hit with a big dot, hit a target at well over 100 yards, like an 8-inch steel target, and you look at 8 inches, that's that, and bang. So anyway, whatever your preference in sights, XS Sights makes the absolute fastest sights in any light, 100% made in the USA. And right now, as I make this video, through June the 1st, 2025, you can save 25% site-wide on anything on XS Sights website. Thanks again to XS Sights for sponsoring today's video, and thank you for watching Survival on Purpose. I hope this video has been helpful. I really appreciate your support. Remember, survival is not an accident. Be prepared. I'll see you next time.